Well, seeing as it is 5:30, I will go ahead and call the June 6th Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting to order. Hopefully people are in the wrong room and we'll trickle down here in just a minute. Lee, can you call roll, please?
Brink?
Here.
Chambers? Freund?
Here.
Walsh?
Here.
Kincaid?
Here.
Shealy? Davis? Downing?
Here.
Docker?
Here. All right. Approve the minutes from last month. Does anyone have anything they'd like to change or?
Move approval.
Move approval. I have a approval from Joel and a second from Andrew. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? All right. Okay, Gregory Park art proposal, Ted.
Sure. All right.
Thank you, Lee.
All right, so really happy to be presenting this. And we have Rob Reno,
Hang on just one
who's our off-road cyclist here.
Just 1 second. We're not sharing screen.
Uh-oh. All right, can everybody online see something now?
Yep.
All right, great. All right, so Gregory Park, some of y'all were on the board and some of y'all weren't, but Gregory Park we did a lot of improvements to several years back. And one of the things that was really neat that was done was ORC got Jason Jones to do a mural for one of the wood features out there, and that's it. When we conceived it, I remember we talked about how it would be done and would it last and all that. Well, the good thing is we went out there just not too long ago and took a look at it. It's really holding up really well. So I think the method that was
he
decided.
used stains instead of actual paint. It's held up much better.
Yeah. So we were real pleased with it as a project, real happy about it. And ORC wants to continue. There's 3 ramps out there, and I'll show y'all kind of where they are. Here's another shot just with somebody actually riding the ramp. So here's the park, and the skink mural, the first one was right here. There's 2 more wood features. One's right here and one's right here, which is kind of real close to the trailhead area. That's the one that we're talking about today. And that's a view of it right there. And so I'm gonna let Rob take over and talk about the concepts they worked on and so forth.
Okay, well, I met with Ted out there and Jason Jones. We looked at the old one first. Like Ted said, it's holding up really well. Then we started coming up with ideas for the new ones. We wanted to stay with the native to Arkansas somewhat creatures, bugs, animals. And these are his 3 proposals that he sent to me. I brought them to our board, the ORC board, and it was unanimous that we like the walking stick. And then I sent that to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, there's a little bit better view of it.
I think you guys are on the same
Yeah.
page as us. And that's kind of where it is. ORC will fully fund this ourselves. We just need approval from you guys.
Same thing, LV stains again.
Yes. Yeah, it's worked so well, we want to stick with the same concept. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have about that I can.
The 32 feet refers to the whole thing or just the drawing?
The stick itself will be 32 feet long. Yeah.
So by walking stick, they mean walking tree.
Yeah, it's large. It's a large feature out there for sure. You guys haven't been to Gregory Park. It's pretty easy to see this one if you go to the park. I mean, it's 50-yard walk, you can see where it's gonna be. It'll be very inviting when you get there, you'll see it.
Well, I like it. I like Gregory Park. I like all the improvements that have been done, and I think this is a great addition, so I move to approve the concept.
Second.
We have a move to approve by Andrew and a second by Hugh. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Shame they can't have a 3D stick on that thing.
Well,
but
it
you
is
kinda
3D.
have
It's
to-
got the shadow.
It's, no, I meant a real.
Well, then people would.
Then they'd be hard to use the ramp.
Someone just wants to see people doing grinds and stuff. Cycling.
Colliding with the stick.
And just to prep you for the future, Ted mentioned there is a third wall out there. Our plan is to come back to you guys in a couple of years and we'll fund that one as well.
Do you think it'll be one of the two that we already saw, or do you think it'll be different?
We'll probably throw something in the mix.
Okay.
The squirrel looks pretty neat.
You like the squirrel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is it a
Squirrel
white
stays.
squirrel?
It's just,
Okay.
that's as far as, he did that for free, so.
No, that's fair. When a professional artist is willing to do things for free, but I was just wondering, there's no
Yeah,
white
no,
squirrels in
Woodburn's-
Gully Park as far as I know.
Yeah, no.
It's
Yeah,
not like
I don't
Winslow,
think there is.
I don't know,
Arkansas.
Alabama Park.
Yeah.
I do have a question about I guess the features. So it seems that Gregory Park has quite a few of the walls and more kind of terrain stuff. In our other parks, are there other features like this? I'm thinking of Centennial, but is there anything at, say, Lake
Centennial's,
Fayetteville or
there's
anything like
a
that?
few. Kessler on the portion that the ORC owns that will eventually be given to the city. We have built some, features like that.
Like, there's a pump track up here,
Yeah.
right
Gregory
there,
has a
and,
bunch up there. He's asking about other places specifically. We're working on like Fayetteville, a plan to completely revitalize that. It's such a heavily used park, but it's getting pretty beat up. It needs to be done.
skills course area.
The skills course area, adding some stuff like that off to the side for some progression for riders. But stay tuned on that.
Yeah, I'd
Working
love to see
on it.
more. I think it's,
Yeah.
I think it's all.
We're doing what we can and
Who is,
talking to the people with the
who
money.
is the artist that,
Jason Jones on this, yeah.
that's neat?
And as a board, we're looking at in the future, maybe doing stuff like this at other places that have that kind of stuff. We'd like to fund something as a group every 2 or 3 years. And at that point, once we leave Gregory, we would like to open it up maybe to other artists. But we kind of wanted to stick with him on this because he works in the stains. And it, lasted for 3 years. It looks as good now as it did when he did it, really.
How long does, not the stained animal feature, but the ramp last before it has to be?
It's probably gonna outlast you and me quite a while. Now the dirt around it does not last.
Yeah.
On those two particular trails, the downhill lines down the middle, I guess it'd be Tailwind, what's the other one?
Rolling
Warning Light?
Thunder.
Rolling Thunder, yeah, those two. A lot of dirt was brought into to build those two, and every couple of years that needs to be redone as the storms wash it away and stuff and use. And ORC is also fixing to fund having that redone probably late this year.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Yep.
All right, we have active transportation update on here, but Yari's not with us as far as I know. So we'll go ahead and move on to Joel, Botanical Garden Society update.
Yep. The meeting last month, basically the garden is financially stable and doing well, it has a surplus. To some degree because of the COVID funds and some degree because of small business administration loan. The membership is increasing. As of April 30th, there were 2,391 members, and we'll just continue to go up. We are, again, still in the process of looking to hire a new executive director. it's down to 2. And we have to have comments back into the committee on the 8th, so, in terms of those 2. And we have hired a new director of horticulture, Bernie Kurtz. Doesn't mean anything to me but to anyone who knows him and all of the reports we get, he's really good. He's been with the university for extension service for a long time, so. And basically, that's where we stand.
Right, awesome.
Oh, there was a plant sale out there this past week by the master naturalists, and I think it was pretty basically a lot of stuff. And it's all local grown, local plants.
All right. Any questions for Joel? Okay. Next up, Zach, Parkland dedication, Owl Creek update.
Don't forget to hit share.
Chefs in the garden.
Oh, Chefs in the Garden went very well.
That
even
like
in the
super
rain.
sold out, right?
It's sold out, and people wander around with umbrellas and boots and had a really good time.
Oh, I need to hit share.
It was sold out, which was good.
Now there's Terrific Tuesdays, right? Terrific Tuesdays.
Now there's Terrific Tuesdays. And yoga in the garden on Saturday.
We're not telling. This mouse. Is it the battery? You gotta hit share on that bottom right. Did it not share still? Oh my gosh, this mouse is. Yeah, it's a terrible. Okay. Oh, it worked for you.
Gotta have the right touch.
That's right. It's above my pay grade. All right, so we got that, and we are sharing.
Yes.
Can those online see this?
Yep.
Great. All right, so we have, first up is an information item on Owl Creek, and then we'll have one fee in lieu development to propose. So previously, Owl Creek was brought to us on January 3rd, 2022. Just as a recap, it's 56 single-family units, and Parks staff and the developer proposed a land dedication for this. We talked about 2 areas, both are seen here, and I'll have a better view on the next slide. And we made an agreement to propose the land dedication. However, since this project has gone forward, the area 2, which we were looking forward to, has become tree preservation land, where tree preservation and parkland dedication cannot overlap. And area 1 is now retention pond. So where that possible future trail is seen on this upper part of the screen, that is now a trail corridor identified by the engineer. And so we've talked with the engineer, and they've said that that would be an adequate park for their parkland dedication. So here's a closer look at what the current plan is as of March 9th. So that retention pond over there on area 1, and then that tree preservation is kind of cutting in and out of area 2. That northern side of the red box on area 2 is the northern side of the creek, and so that's why you don't see the entire area. But yeah, so with this, this will continue on with the property that the city already owns to the west and part of the north of this. So the gray line to the middle is the new trail to be built. The green area will be on both sides of this trail, and approximately 1.28 acres. The exact acreage to be determined, but this is essentially what they need for those units that they're building. So it'll be right at the amount that they need to meet their parkland dedication requirement. And so you see the access to park in the center where they have made that area available so that you can get from the neighborhood to the park alongside that detention pond that they have there. And so this is just another quick view of what was on the left and what is current on the right on what this is. So if that is just kind of what we were bringing to y'all tonight. I don't know if that needs like a motion or anything, or if that's just.
Yeah, let's go ahead and approve it, and I'll go ahead and motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve from Will and a second from Joel. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright,
Alright.
Is there access to that from anywhere else?
there will be eventually, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It'll tie into the main park piece. That'll be just to the west of that image.
That light green area you see to the west and south of the property is what Parks already owns. And that trail will continue west.
And also, Joel, keep in mind that you have Elk Creek just to the east there, and so you have the trails that go in there.
All right, so here's our fee in lieu. This is South Duncan Cluster Homes. And this is located just west of Walker Park. So here's our site location. We've got 40 single-family homes, and the developer and staff recommend fee in lieu for this project to get a good aerial view of what this will be. It's on that right-hand corner, so there's, just kind of an open spot. It looks like development was going to go in there and never really made it. But this is what that cluster housing development is set to look like. This does have adequate coverage by nearby parks and trail systems. And so I think that this would, kind of be what the developer has in mind. And that is all.
And then I'm here if
you
you
guys
guys
want-
need any questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Representing the developer with Craft and Toll.
Does anyone have any questions for?
What's happening with the northern, street entry?
The Northern Street entry?
What do you mean? There is,
I can't tell,
Do you
is
have
it
a-
there currently, or is it new?
No, it used to be an existing trailer park. And so what you can see, the street right there was just an asphalt road, but we're gonna bring in our north access right across from Van Buren Avenue and just bring it around and loop it back down into that existing
Oh,
access off of Duncan just to get fire and all that.
so it's moving from where
Yes, it's moving north. They already built a house right where that asphalt is right there, so we no longer have access right there.
Just wondering.
Any other questions? I think this is very close to Walker Park and definitely a walkable area, so, along with the trail system.
Yes, and the Fayetteville Traverse is gonna go
Right.
right by it.
And it's just south of the Wet Prairie, World Peace Wet Prairie and Hill Place land. Right.
Right.
Any other questions?
We have a motion,
Move to approve.
move to approve.
I thought we already-
I'll second
we
it.
already-
No, this is separate.
Okay. Yeah, second, got it.
Joel motions, I second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any approved, any opposed? Blah. All right, passes. Thank you. And 9 is the strategic plan, blah, man, I'm just losing it. The strategic plan update.
All right, so we had the advisory committee meeting this Thursday at 11:30. So that's of course exciting. We sent out information. I probably need to send it to the board, make sure everybody had it to review before the meeting and all. And some of y'all are on it. Just hopefully you can review it ahead of time so help with the conversation. But then you'll have time afterwards. There was some homework pieces in there to kind of think about that and to put your thoughts down in writing so we can collect all that as we
Do you
move
want-
forward.
Comments beforehand, if so, how?
Just have them to talk, just to
Oh,
bring up ideas as you see appropriate,
Okay.
basically. The written part, you got another week or so to kind of put that together and get to us, and then we'll capture that. This is kind of the last, kind of the bigger net. This is where we're gonna start, take this information and head to the draft plan. So it's kind of getting exciting that we're getting close to getting to that point. But still hoping to finish up in October, November timeframe, so keeping it moving. So any questions on that? All right, well, I'll jump in to a little project update. If you've been out there, the slope has been repaired, and it survived the big rain, so those are two good things. And the rest of the project's moving along. Matter of fact, we're gonna start doing punch lists probably next week, so we're close to wrapping this one up, which is nice. Contractor Crossland, I think, has done a great job. They've been real good to work with. And so in the fall, at some point, we'll be having a ribbon cutting and starting to play ball out here, which would be nice.
Ted, if you would, a couple of the questions I've gotten has circled around, parking. If you've got 8 baseball fields in a Tuesday night and you have 2 cars per family potentially, are there any areas to expand parking at Kessler, or are we kind of set where we're at?
A good question. So we've got a couple layers here.
I didn't get that.
A good bit of people, are coming to use the trails. So part of what we did, and with the slope failure, if there was a little bit of taking the lemon and making some lemonade, up on the side of the mountain where we had an area, we put some of the spoil from that, and we've created what eventually is going to be a really nice trailhead up there. So that road that goes through the parking lot and then goes up, we're going to be able to utilize that for trailhead parking, and eventually all that, because of where it is, most people are going to want to park up there, which will alleviate some of the parking problem. And on a big event, it could be more parking up there, even going up along the road. You could probably park, parallel park that. So there is that'll help. We were able to add.
Is it gonna be paved or gravel?
It'll be gravel once you leave the paved parking lot.
Okay.
So all that'll be at least in the foreseeable future. I think it'll be a while before we'll have much funding to do too much anyway. But it should be usable for those who don't mind getting in a off-road gravel situation pretty quick.
I did bring it up to city council. We had the annual presentation this past week, and so I did bring that up, that it is a regional park and one of our major draws from out of the area, and so of course people are going to drive there. And I think that this was probably, honestly, there were a couple of mistakes made when Kessler was built, and this was one of them. We thought that people would carpool more to this place, and that's just not happening. And so I think that's one of the mistakes there. And so I brought it up to city council, so we'll see. But this is definitely something we're gonna have to keep bringing up to remind. And there's supposed to be houses around there kind of eventually. So we'll see how that may affect it and stuff like that too, so. But it is an issue.
Sure.
Has there been any thought to educating the teens that they should carpool?
Well, I wanna give you an anecdotal piece. Games are at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and parents are coming from Springdale or Rogers, and mom may have to drive the kids, or dad may have to drive the kids, and then dad's gotta come as well. So maybe at a later game, but your early games are typically gonna be vehicle dominant. So it's a challenge to educate folks, hey, it might be easier to take a bike, but it would be tough to carry baseball bags and stuff like that.
And it fills up when there's baseball and soccer
Yeah.
happening, and sometimes all the soccer games in at the same time.
Yeah, I just know that where we're kind of tucked around there, I know that there's a trailhead access. I think they were using it to park equipment at some point. If it's the same area I'm thinking about, I don't think it's a bad idea. It's just, there's no real room for expansion out away from
Yeah,
activity.
the parking lot that's now in the middle of the two ball fields, that'll no longer be a trailhead parking lot. We decided we're just gonna move that access over to the new parking lot, which has an easier grade to get up, and it'll be better for the slope and so forth. But also it starts to lend towards people going up and using the other trailhead areas that we have. So, you know, I think we'll have to kind of see how all this change happens. One of the things too is, you know, we're gonna spend a little time going out there and looking at signage because of all these changes and trying to figure out what we're gonna need. So if you have any thoughts on that, please don't be shy, send them to us.
Will it tie into the
Traverse.
The Traverse.
Logo that we just
yeah,
looked
that
at.
we just spoke about?
Yeah, the Traverse, comes down right to the, just to the north of that new parking area. So signage to that needs to be there too.
Hey Ted, while we're kind of talking about this thing, I've gotten some complaints about the Ramble and like that we're planting Bermuda grass in the Ramble and stuff like that.
I've not really been keeping up with the Ramble. That would be a good Peter, question.
But we will eventually be in charge for maintenance and all the stuff of the Ramble, correct?
We will be. We will be doing the maintenance on it. Another project, just to give you a heads up, is the promenade and bridge replacement at Wilson bid. We got bids. We're still working on that project, but it looks like we're probably going to be able to move forward. They were, of course, higher than we would have liked, but that seems to be the way of construction right now, unfortunately. But we did get two bidders, which was nice, because there's been some city projects that have bid and got no one bidding on them.
Ted, can you send me the schematics for that, please? I've had some people. Thank you.
Yep.
But yeah, going back to the Ramble, I know that sustainability is kind of in charge of it right now, but we've put all this time into clearing out invasives, and then we go and plant Bermuda grass in there.
Okay,
So
I'll try to remember to check with Peter about that too. Let's see, is any other construction projects or anything anybody would like to hear about? We're kind of winding down the first, this will be really the last project of the first phase, and then we'll have the second phase of bond projects getting ready to kick off.
Well, my kids are really enjoying the splash pad at
Oh,
Walker
good.
Park.
Well, that's good. Good news.
It's lovely.
All right, well, let's jump into HMR report then. Where are we? We are in April. This is the last one showing, and I'm sorry I didn't have time to kind of total everything up, but you can see April there did exceed prior years. So still having a good trend. I think, Will, you brought up the point about how's this hanging with all the inflation?
yeah, with real adjusted dollars.
Yeah.
Do we know what the real adjusted dollars are here?
I didn't have any time to even spend on this one. I just, I didn't get a chance to do some of the extra analysis. Sometimes we do. But that is a good question.
Is the number down at the bottom 19.6%? Is that the increase?
That's the increase from last year, yep.
Yeah.
So total. So every month so far has been good, with the exception of that February one, which was kind of an oddball. And I think what happened there is there was some funds that probably were supposed to be in February, but they were just a little late, and they ended up in March, which might be part of why March was so high.
Will, do you know where we are with inflation over last year now?
It's about 9% real.
Okay.
But looking at the real adjusted dollars really quick, and I knew this was the case for January and March, but it is better. So, but it's not, it looks like it's almost 100,000, more than 100,000. It's adjusted dollars, so it's like 40,000, which is good, but like not as good as it could be. And like we have to watch out with the projects and the bond. Like I'm worried when we get to the third phase of bond funding, if we're even gonna be able to do some of the projects at all.
Construction inflation is outclipsing
Yeah.
everything. It's just really crazy right now.
So, And depending on what the Fed announces, we might technically be in a recession here next month, so. Like, this is like the 1970s with stagflation, I guess, so.
Strange times.
Strange times indeed. So that's just something we'll have to keep an eye on about finishing off the bond things that we said, that we went to the voters with, and then, I don't know, like.
Yeah.
That gets into the master plan, right? What we'll be able to do with what we have, and
Yeah, I think by the time we get to that last set, we'll just have to see what we can do. You know, other funding streams and what we can do in that regard as part of the.
do you think that will also mean we'll need to readjust our CIP 5-year?
Yeah, definitely. I think after we do that, we probably kind of need to take a real fresh look on all that.
Okay. Any other questions? Let's do all these announcements. June 6th and 10th, we have the Be Active Summer Camp, Lake Fayetteville. Also June 6th and 10th, we have the YRCC Summer for Fun Kids thing. June 6th, swim lessons start up at Wilson Park Pool, and the Wahoos begin. June 7th, outdoor Fayetteville mountain biking at Gregory Park. Gully Park Outdoor Concert Series starts on June 9th. It'll be Route 358. And there's the Gully Park Master Plan Stakeholder Meeting. Is that going to be happening during the concert?
No, it's at 11:30,
It's before?
I think.
Oh, I'm misreading that. Okay, yes, I understand now. Okay, June 10th through 12th, Fayetteville Youth Baseball Tournament, Kessler and Gary, Hampton, White River, all four for baseball parks. June 11th, Ladies Do, the duathlon there out at Lake Fayetteville. June 13th through 23rd, swim lessons, session 2 at Wilson Park starts. June 13th through 17th, the Be Active Summer Camp, soccer out of Mount Kessler. June 13th through 17th, YRCC Summer for Fun for Kids, Yvonne Richardson Center. June 14th, outdoor Fayetteville mountain biking at Mount Kessler. June 15th, summer tennis classes start. June 13th, summer adult kickball starts. Also, summer adult softball starts out at Gary Hampton. June 16th, Gully Park concert number 2, Blue Water Highway. June 17th through 19th, Fayetteville Youth Baseball Tournament at Kessler and White River. June 20th through 24th, Be Active Summer Camp at Lake Fayetteville. June 20th through 24th, YRCC Summer for Fun Kids. June 23rd, another Gully Park concert, King Cabbage Brass Band. And June 24th, Dive In Movie, it will be Encantado. And June 24th through 26th, one more Fayetteville Youth Baseball Tournament at Kessler and Gary Hampton. So lots of summer fun stuff for everyone.
There's more on that.
Take a breath here. June 27th through July 1st, Be Active Summer Tennis Camp. June 27th through July 1st, Summer Camp Buddy Pegs Week #1 out at Centennial. What is that?
It's bikes.
So it's a learn to bike program. Buddy Pegs is a provider that we contract to help instruct with us.
Be Active Summer Camp Theater Camp out at Gully Park. June 27th through July 1st, YRCC Summer Fun for Kids at the Yvonne Richardson Center. June 27th through July 7th, swim lesson session number 3 at Wilson Park Pool. June 29th, outdoor Fayetteville kayak polo at Wilson Pool. And June 30th, Gully Park concert number 4, The Funk Factory. All right. Do we have anything else people would like to talk about or discuss that is related to parks? All right. It's hot out there. Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Seeing as there's nothing else, I adjourn this June meeting. Thank you, everyone.